What is up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is episode 3 of my mock build series entitled Building Coruscant, The Hunt for Ahsoka, where I take you through step by step as I build this awesome scene from season 5 of the Clone Wars. Before we get into the progress this week, I want to say a huge thank you once again to my series sponsor Minifig Customs. So they sent me a couple of figs for this mock, so huge thank you to them. They have a ton of awesome UV printed and decaled minifigs if you want to go check out their website. If you do buy anything, make sure to use code SWBricks10. But without further ado, let's get straight into the progress for this week. Okay, to start this week off, before I do any building, I actually have this package in from lego.com. I'm really excited for this one and I've been waiting for this one for quite a while. It's actually come quicker than I anticipated, so that's really good. But yeah, in here we should have a ton of pieces for Coruscant, so hopefully this should be good. So wow, yeah, you can see already I have a load of things in here, all brand new, straight from lego.com. Okay, so you can see this is everything right here. So we have two bags. First off, we have this big bag right here. This is the reason everything came in that huge box as opposed to like an envelope or anything. But we have a load of these dark red pieces right here. So obviously if you've seen any of the updates before or the mock in general, you will have seen that I'm using these for the big pipes that are going to be on the end of the mock, and this should be enough pieces to finish off those piping areas. Then I believe the only other thing in here are these big sort of like rail pieces here. I don't exactly know what you call these. Maybe they're part of a roller coaster or something, but they're really good for details. And I don't know whether I use the yellow ones or even the grey ones in this mock, but I decided to buy a load of these because these are really useful for any sort of buildings or industrial buildings, that sort of thing. And they're really useful. Then you can also see I got another 200 of these dark bluish grey tiles. I think I've used about 200 or so already in the mock, so I'm definitely going to need more of these. But this in total is going to be pretty good for finishing off, or at least getting a good amount done on the lower section this week. Hopefully I can get loads of building done, and I'm really excited to go ahead with that. But yeah, I'm going to have to order some more of these. Other than that, that's pretty good to go. And fingers crossed I did the maths right and I've ordered enough of these. But yeah, let's have a look and see how many of these pipes that I can make. Okay, so there you go, we've made 2 of the actual pipes right there. You can see these end pieces right here are going to be in dark red, but I haven't been able to pick any of these up recently, so I need to order 4 more of those and then I will replace them. For now I just use the light bluish grey ones just as sort of like a placeholder to get these built. I did actually end up ordering 2 extra ones, which is a bit weird because pretty sure I didn't, but yeah, well, it's a good problem to have. It's definitely better to have too many than too few, so that is really good. But yeah, because they're quite an expensive piece, so I didn't want to order too many and waste my money, but it doesn't matter in the end. And then I also managed to get a few more of these because these are really useful. Again, these are quite expensive. These are like 50p each or so, but again, these are quite expensive. They're about 50p each or so, but I'm definitely going to use them in a lot of details in the mock, so it's definitely worth picking up a few more of these. I've already used them once in one area of the lower section, so I definitely have to replicate that pattern over again at least one more time, so I decided to pick up some more of these. But yeah, that's pretty good. I'm really happy to have got those built now, and I'm definitely going to sort of hopefully get a load more of that area finished off in this episode. Okay, because of course I got loads of tiles in that haul. I ended up doing a load of tiling off in this area right here. So this is about 2/3 of the tiles that I've done now, and I do still have a load left to order. So I've ordered some and hopefully they'll arrive soon and I'll be able to finish off the entire bottom section. But yeah, you can see I got a load of work done. I actually left a couple of spots open just so I can change things up around the bottom of the stairs. But yeah, pretty happy with the way this came out. Let me know what you think of this so far, and let me know what you think of those water sections and that sort of thing, whether you think that's a good inclusion. I now just really have 2 problems limiting what I can do on this bottom area, and that is the lack of tiles as well as the fact that I use a green base plate on the far side. So the fact that I use the green base plate means that you can kind of see the green through the tiles that I use for the water. So let me know what you think of this so far. I think it is a bit of a problem, but I think it kind of looks good, and I don't think it will be too noticeable. Again, it'll also show through the grill pieces that I've used along here as well, so hopefully that won't be too bad. But yeah, now I moved into building up this back wall a little bit more, and I'm going to add in later on in the video the sort of hinge pieces that actually hold up the pipes themselves. So I'm going to go back in and add those later on. But the next thing I worked on was actually getting the stairs done. So I managed to have enough pieces to finish off one set of stairs. I wasn't exactly happy with this. They're kind of too steep in my opinion at the moment. So I think I'm going to make them a little bit longer and a little bit further away from the wall. But yeah, I'll be working on that in the coming weeks. Okay, so the next thing I actually went ahead and worked on was a little area of the filler brick that I'm going to use as sort of like little Easter egg rooms. So I decided to build up this room with filler brick. Obviously this will be completely covered. You won't be able to see any of these colors, but yeah, that's about how big it looks with a minifigure in there. But yeah, basically what I'm going to do is after I've built up this entire grey wall, I'll go ahead and sort of build up some stuff in the internal section of this, and I'm going to use this as like a little Easter egg room that I can put in. I think I'm going to have multiple of these across the entire mock, but yeah, this will be pretty cool, and I'm really excited to hear your opinion on this little technique that I get done here. But yeah, I built up this entire grey wall and then worked on putting some tiles down on the bottom of this so I can just slide in the layer of plates and the sort of floor or the room in nice and easily in and out without having to sort of connect it to any plates or anything like that, which means it'll be easy to work on and also easy to sort of like pull out and show you guys what I've done in this room. So the first thing I did was lay out the general layout for the room. So I made this with light bluish grey plates, and this will just be the sort of base that the entire room will be built on. So I laid this out and then I sort of worked out how it would sort of slide in and out. It was a little bit tight, so I ended up adding sort of like a little hinge on the front that I can pull and use to get it in and out easier. But yeah, it was a little bit tight, but I think it will look really good in the end, especially when it's got walls and a ceiling on this little room. So then as you saw on the time lapse, I've built this sort of little room right here. So these are going to be for just like Easter eggs. So I can pop some Easter eggs in here and I can sort of build them up as I go and choose what I want them to be. Sort of when I do have an idea, I can start building these. But yes, I thought for now I'd sort of add these little areas. So when I do have the ideas for the Easter eggs and when I do want to build them, I can just go ahead and add them without having to sort of rip up all the filler brick and start again. But basically what it's going to be is, so far what I've done is, I'm going to have these, the front two sections are going to be sort of like flush with the wall. So I've made this little technique with these little bracket pieces. I'm going to have to grab a load more of these, but effectively this is going to join into a wall that goes all the way around the outside. I'm going to build that when I do sort of have the patterns I want for the sort of internal walls of these rooms, which is going to be pretty good. But yeah, so basically for this first one, I think I'm going to do sort of like the prison cell that Ahsoka is being held in the show, as well as a few other things. A special one with Epsilon Squad that was suggested in the comments last week, which is an absolutely fantastic idea. If you don't know about that, that's from a Cinematic Captures short fan film, which is really, really awesome. So I definitely want to include that because that was definitely featured on Coruscant. So but yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have as many of these as I can. Probably, I think at least another one of these along this back wall, maybe potentially two. I'll have to see how much room I have on this mock in the end. But yeah, basically this just slides in like so, and as I said before, this will just sort of sit flush and I'll have it like curving over the top. So it'll be a nice little sort of break from these plain walls right here. But yeah, basically other than that, I've just got to build up a couple more layers and then sort of add some brackets over the top, and then this will be a nice little area that this room will sit into. I do want to kind of add some lights into the mock pretty soon, maybe potentially lights into this little room here, but I do want to add some lights also below the walkways right here. I'm going to try and work out what I can do with those. I think I'll probably be able to just have those sort of strip lights running along the bottom, maybe 2 to 3 per, and then have the wires coming out, and then maybe a switch around here or something like that. But yeah, you can see I actually raised this up by a extra plate right here, so it'd be flush. So basically, because this ladder was a bit high, I had to raise this entire thing up by 1. So basically this will all be tiled off here, and then I'm basically going to start with this snot floor in line with this level right here, starting about here as well. So this will be all snots going into the actual landing platform, back a little bit further back. But yeah, that is everything that I've done in this little segment right here. Let's get back to some more building. I think I'm going to work on the walls over there. So starting over here with this area, I wanted to add in these little pin pieces that are going to be sort of holding up that pipe in the end. So I went ahead and built up these on these end pieces here. This was quite easy to do. I just had to count up the height that they needed to be sat at. I made sure they were center in between those 2 lines of grills, and then this was pretty easy. Next, I moved ahead and sort of built up this middle wall a little bit more, and then sort of worked on some things over here for these sort of sloped areas. So these are these sort of grill sections that go between those regular dark bluish grey slopes to add a nice little curved and sort of smooth effect. I did have a few problems putting these in. I did have to rip up the other side and go back in and find out what I did, but I worked it out at the end and we got it fixed. But yeah, hopefully that looks pretty good. And then finally, the last thing I did this week was go ahead and add these sort of pin pieces back into the other ends as well. So the pipes are ready to go when I do have the pieces to finish them off. Okay guys, but that's everything I got done this week. I hope you did enjoy episode number 3 of building Coruscant. I am loving this mock so far. It's been definitely my favorite mock to build. I'm really enjoying the different techniques that I'm using. Let me know what you think of this mock in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your feedback or any suggestions that you have for the mock. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. You definitely don't want to miss out on any of the future content that I have coming up. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.